I'm ready to go if you are. Yes, ready to go. What's that? Raise the microphone. Okay, I'll raise the microphone for Mindy. How about that? Good? I want to make you happy. Here we go. Test the microphone. Okay, testing. Sorry, guys. Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear it? Oh, you can hear it, but don't scratch the microphone, she says. Oh, sorry. How about this? Testing. What, Mindy? Too damn close to the microphone. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll get better, I promise. I'll get better. Sorry, I suck. Sorry. Testing. Good. Oh, great. We got a microphone that's working. Great. It's so awesome. I guess we can get started now, Mindy. Good. Can I start? I can. Great. Okay, guys, welcome to the video. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. It's going to be another feel-good Nutnfancy philosophy video. You saw the title. Sensitive subject. I will treat it with great respect and sensitively as I possibly can. And I'm so glad our microphone is working because I really want the world to hear the following. Yeah, as we kick off the video about masculinity. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a short statement. Just hang with me. Where's my shout cone? Oh, here it is. Can you hear me? Still working, Mindy? Good. Oh, so great. So happy. Okay, here we go. Attention world! Masculinity is awesome, and if you don't think so, you can suck it. Did you get that, Mindy? Did you? Oh, one more thing. And I'm not here to make you happy, Mindy. No. I'm here to do a job and to tell the truth. And if you don't like it, you can suck it. Did you get that? Yeah, okay. Oh, your name's not Mindy? It's Karen. Oh, big surprise. Okay, thanks. You're dismissed. And end scene. Yes, I'm kidding around. No, there's no Mindy or Karen producer back there. I'm totally joshing you. Acting. I can act. I'm posing as a beta male, obviously. Any TMPer should get that. They're like, oh, here goes Nutnfancy again. This should be fun. Hopefully it was. It's hilarious. I had to do that scene like 20 times because I'm laughing. No, none of that was for real, obviously. But I am, again, modeling what society tells us we should be as men. Compliant to women. Well, among other things. But you're going to subjugate yourself to femininity. In fact, you should be feminine, tells us the world. You should be feminine. Masculinity is toxic. It's a source of all evil in the world, says the movies, the television shows, the ridiculous comedy shows, advertisements. They model it and have been modeling it year after year after year, gaslighting millions of men into becoming pussies. Did you get that, Karen? Yeah, into becoming pussies. A lot of guys literally walk around like this. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was so evil, so bad. Oh my gosh, I really need to revisit what it means to be a man. Maybe be more like a woman. And I'm just evil. I'm bad. I'm the source of all the world's problems. And oh my gosh, I feel horrible. I really do. You didn't do anything wrong, bro. You're just being gaslit. Quit being such a pussy. Yeah, maybe someone sent you this video who loves you, who cares about you. And if they did, honestly, they do care about you. It might be your dad. You might be a 12-year-old. And you're like, dude, this is what I've been telling you all along. Listen to Nutnfancy. Retired Lieutenant Colonel USAF, been modeling masculinity for freaking over 15 years. He's going to tell you what I tell you. But here's another voice reinforcing what it means to be a wholesome man. A masculine man. That's right. Here comes some close air support, like an A-10 swooping over the battlefield with depleted uranium-30 Mike shells blowing up tanks. Hey, Nutnfancy, I already love this video. I'm so glad you made it. I need some help out here. The world sucks. I know it does. And I am here to help you, bro. Now, don't get me wrong. What I'm going to say in this video is defending man. Defending what it means to be a wholesome, masculine man. It doesn't mean I hate women. Doesn't mean I don't love motherhood and what it means to be a woman. Women are different than men. God created men, then he created women. They're different. A message that is lost in today's society. In fact, they don't accept that at all. They don't accept God for number one. Number two, they don't accept that there's two genders. They're saying they're teaching your kids in school there's a multiplicity of genders. They can elect whatever they want. Any graduation between man and woman, transgender, whatever. They can choose. In fact, they're being indoctrinated as we speak in your schools. And again, in the media. You know this. You sense it. You sense the wrongness of this. The upside down of right of this. And it infuriates you, TMPer, or whoever you are, whoever this video reaches. If you're a normal person with normal morals, a normal value system, you believe in God, you know this is bullshit. It's bullshit. There are two genders. There's men, there's women. Each one has its own special set of qualities from God designed to work together. They complement each other. They fill in gaps where one sex is lacking, the other one fills it in. They're like, well, maybe the man isn't that sensitive. Well, here comes the mom. She is sensitive. She is caring. And she creates a wonderful family. She provides that stability and love in a relationship for the children. All that's super important. We should always uphold and defend wholesome feminism. Feminism? Let's say motherhood. Feminism has such a bad connotation to today's society. Womanhood. Womanhood is probably the best way to put it. I'm all about that. You are too. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You are too. You're like, yeah, I totally agree with that. Women are awesome. They are. They do some incredible things. I've worked with them in the military. Some are really good. Some are really bad. Like incompetent bad with attitude. A lot of them were. And none of us as men really care. I was like, hey, if you're going to come to a man's job, which piloting is, I was an Air Force pilot. If you're going to come to a man's job, okay. Be good at the job and don't have attitude. Be cool to hang out with. Some of them were. We loved them. Loved them. Girly girls. Like they're girly. They're feminine. They flew the heck out of the jets. They did the job. We loved them. Had our respect. Some weren't. Some were acting like they're men. Masculine energy. They were shitty at the job. We didn't like them. We didn't respect them. Yeah. That's an aside. That's an aside. I can make a whole video about that. Maybe one day. And I'll tell you a lot more. Oh my gosh, do I have some stories. They will curl your hair. The incompetency I've seen in flying later. Let's focus up on masculinity, shall we? Yeah, I'm rolling in hot like an A-10. I'm strafing the battlefield. The battlefield that we find ourselves in is today's society. Jacked up, wrong. Just take whatever's wholesome and right and traditional and proven in today's society and is flipped upside down and it's being attacked as unwholesome, wicked, perverse, and the reason why we need to reset the great society. No, not the great society. Reset society. The great reset is what I meant to say. You know this is going on. So you may know this, maybe you don't. And I'm going to clarify it. We've established and you've sensed there is an attack on manhood, masculine manhood, right? And if you don't, you've been living under a rock. But let's say you agree with that. Yes, Nutnfancy, I agree. There's a huge attack. Everything I watch on television is attacking men. You're right. Why are they doing that? What would you think? The number one reason they're doing that, and I have two reasons, and there's probably a ton of them, but here's two. The number one reason they are attacking men is to destroy the American family. Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Did you get that? That's right. They are destroying the American family. The best way to do that is take the man out of the family. Now, you can make the case, well, there's a lot of single moms that raised great kids. No doubt. Generally speaking, though, when a man is out of the house, we're going to have problems with those kids. Lack of responsibility, lack of work ethic, lack of morals. They're going to drift aimlessly. Maybe they have behavioral problems, school problems. They end up in jail. I'm not saying always, but if we're to broad stroke it, and I am, and I have that right because it's my show, that's what happens. Having a strong father, a strong, loving, masculine father in the home is an anchor. It makes that family way more awesome. Not to say that you can't get raised by a strong woman that does a great job raising men. There's lots of examples of that. Look to the NFL, lots of examples. Does happen. But by and large, if you want a family to succeed, you should have a father in the home. If they can take that father out of the home, demoralize him, castigate him, castrate him, make him leave, make him self-doubt, make him feel guilty, well, they've succeeded. Because without a strong family in today's society, they can destroy society. They can reinvent society. They can put communism in place. That's reason one. They're attacking the family. They're taking the man out of the equation. Reason two is because they want to establish communism. Now, years ago when I would say the C word, communism, people would go, whoa, dude, that's really strong. Now I don't think many of you will say that. You'll go, yep, that's about right. From what you've seen in today's world and the bullshit of today's world, you're probably like, yep, it is communism. They want a collective. They don't want individuality. They definitely do not want masculinity that stands in their way. We stand like a blockade for everything they want to do. We're like, what the hell you think you're doing? Strong, masculine men. We're going to stand in their way. They're out to take us out. They're out to attack us. They're out to take our livelihoods away from us, to get us fired, to get us banned from everywhere. They're out to punish us, throw us in jail, send us to re-education camps, and turn us into that beta male that started off this video. That's who you should be. Subjugated to feminism. Because if you're subjugated to feminism, you're not going to be a fighter. You're not going to stand up. You're not going to be strong and courageous. And all the other qualities I'm going to address in this video, or perhaps video series, which are attributes of a wholesome masculine man. They don't like that. They're scared of it. You sense it. You know what I'm saying is true. If you don't, get on your knees, please, and pray about it. I'm being serious. Pray about everything you hear in this video and say, is this truth? What Nutnfancy said? Other than the intro, the answer is yes. This is all truth. And the world today does not accept truth. They accept lies. They accept the reinvention, the reinterpretation of truth. Kind of like the multiplicity of genders, which millions upon millions of Americans are accepting, heck, worldwide. They're like, yeah, okay, we can do that. There aren't two genders. What? And they'll go, yeah, there is no God. Right, we don't have any rudder at all. We'll just steer ourselves with an ever-changing sense of rationalism. Goodness gracious. That's why they're attacking masculinity, to destroy the family and to get rid of obstacles for creating a socialist or communist state. Because masculine men, I don't know, with guns, oh my gosh, they stand in the way. You stand in the way. But I'm here to tell you, do not be gaslit. Don't believe this crap. Stand firm and become more masculine. These qualities I'm going to talk about, some of which I've addressed in previous philosophy videos here in the Nutnfancy Project, they're time proven. They're true. They're the reason our nation is so awesome, at least was awesome, because manly men created it, not women. Sorry, women. They didn't. You might have one or two. Oh, what about so-and-so? She's awesome. Okay, she's awesome. She represents 0.00001%. The rest, men. Men. Kind of like Henry Ford, Lee Iacocca, General Patton, Ray Kroc, Thomas Watson, IBM founder, Sam Walton, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, Jeb Stuart, Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee. I just picked a few Civil War generals. And I could go on and on for like half an hour enumerating all the awesome men who embody these attributes I'm going to talk about, who overcame tremendous obstacles to be great at what they did. But today, especially if you talk about our founding fathers, those people were evil. They're tearing down their statues. Oh my gosh, they're misogynistic. They're the reason the United States sucks so bad. We're going to reinvent the whole thing. We're going to tear apart the Constitution. It was wrong from the foundation, and all these other satanic, that's right, I said satanic musings and agendas. They come from the father of all lies, and there are millions of people who are his little followers doing his bidding. Basically, here's something I want to throw in this video. Anything that is of compulsion, that forces you to do anything, is of Satan. Use that as a standard of measure, would you please? If you're forced to do anything, I don't care what it is, it's generally of Satan. Because that's what he does. He forces people. Like, you will do this. Now, if you have free agency, freedom of choice, it's from God. That's how he works. He's like, I'm not going to force you to do it. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to give you my spirit. I'm going to teach you right from wrong. And you will have to choose. Because then it matters. If I force you to do something that doesn't matter, you're a slave. And you cannot be a free child of mine if you're a slave. Duh. So compulsion comes from the adversary, and freedom of choice, free agency, comes from God. Generally speaking, you can go through life using that as a standard of measure. Right now, we see vax mandates, right? We'll see how that turns out. It's going to change, ever-changing, but that is compulsion. So who's that from? What did Nutnfancy just say? Oh, yeah, it's from the devil. I'm sorry to get religious on you, but I have to, and I have been doing this in philosophy videos because we're at that point, and we have been at this point for a couple of years now. I can't, tiptoe around the subject and go, oh, it's because of this, and avoiding talking about God. No apologies. If you like it, thank you. Thank you for your support. If you don't, I don't care. Oftentimes, not caring about what other people think about you is a quality of being a man because you stick to your integrity. There you go. Let's get going. Qualities of being a masculine man by Nutnfancy. And by the way, I found some great stuff online. I'm not the only one talking about this. You should probably watch and subscribe to Kevin Samuels. He's a black gentleman who I absolutely admire and respect. He talks about this stuff all the time. He's a huge advocate for men in general, and he too dispenses truth. And a lot of others. I found this article by Lane Goodwin from March 2018. I'll link it below. He's outstanding. This article is simple, easy to read. And after I made my list, I started going through his, like, dude, we're talking about the same stuff. He and I were seeing eye to eye. And apparently, men think alike. Men like us. And it makes me wonder how many men there are like us. Manly men. And am I a perfect man? Am I like, oh, I'm so masculine? Am I standing before the camera like, oh, I'm a perfect model of masculinity? No. I'm flawed just like all men. But I do think I represent wholesome masculinity and have during the whole time here in TMP. Look around. It's a modeling of what it means to be a masculine, wholesome, moral man. Something that, again, the CPF, you call them the media, the Communist Party feeds, say doesn't exist. They're like, no, pretty much all men suck. It's a woman's world. That's what we're told. Oh, really? Like Kevin Samuels says, let's take men out of the equation in a modern world. We'll just completely remove them and just leave women to their own devices, and we'll see how long you guys can make it without men. Energy sectors, production sectors, cars, automobiles, manufacturing, construction. It would collapse like Atlas Shrugged. No kidding. First quality of being a manly man, says the Nutnfancy Project, is the ability to fight. And that means fist fighting if it comes to that. That's right. To be a man, you need to be able to fight. When I was in school, junior high, I wasn't like that. I wasn't a fighter. I wasn't born to be aggressive and fist fight. And I was funny. You might sense that. I was funny and had charisma, and so I attracted girls, and girls really liked me in elementary school, junior high school, and the other guys got very jealous. And so I was a target of picking on. So, bullies would come up to me and they started picking on me like, oh, you think you're cool, you think you're funny, huh? Check this out. And they're slugging my shoulder. And my brother, who was a fighter, I'd come home from school. I was like, well, it was a bad day at school. I almost got my ass kicked. He's like, well, you need to fight. And he and I fought all the time. I was like, oh, I guess you're right. And so, we fought, taught me some things. And sure enough, next guy that came up to me, punched me in the shoulder, I popped him right in the face as hard as I could. And I kept going. It was like, boom, 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 in the nose, upside the head. And I just, boom, beating the shit out of this guy. And this was in 7th grade. And everyone's like, whoa, dude. Did anybody pick on me for the rest of that year? Nope. Now, in school, I probably got into like 4 really serious fist fights. I lost one pretty good, but I beat that guy up fair share. I mean, he had a fat lip. He was bleeding out of his nose. He got me on the ground, and I couldn't get up. And then the fight was broken up by a teacher. So I kind of felt like I lost that one. The other 3, I won just because I was pissed. When I get pissed, watch out. I'm just telling you, if I get pissed, the unlock codes come away. Sorry. You better watch out. You better watch out because, oh man, I just go off. It's rare. You guys have never seen me mad on camera, ever. But in school, it got to that level. It's like, okay, I'm done. And I just started swinging for the fences. And guess what? After fighting and using my ability to fight, my life got a lot better. And a lot of the guys that I had, scuffles with, some were like full-on fist fights, and most were just like, punch here or there. They respected me, and we became friends. Because you know what? They're like, oh, that guy's not a pussy after all. He's pretty cool. He punched me in the face. I kind of like him. That's how it goes in life. Men understand this code. You have to have an ability to fight. If you're a masculine man. Again, this is very feared by the left. They hate this. They're like, oh, no. Get rid of masculinity. Because they don't want someone standing up to their agenda. They want to turn you into a beta male that will not resist, who's apologetic, and just waiting for the next government directive. Oh, you want me to do this? Oh, now I have to wear 10 masks? Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, cool. That's who they want. A masculine man with the ability to fight, whether it's with fists, whether it's with guns, very fearful. They're like, no, we can't have that. Because it stands in their way. And a man who has the ability to fight, just one man, can do a lot of damage. And luckily, you and I are governed by a God-based morality system. And if you don't believe in God, I know there's a lot of team peers that don't, you're still good people, and you're based in your own good moral system, value system. So that's what men don't get credit for. They're like, oh, you have guns, you're just going to go off. No, we're not. We're totally chill. But don't step on the snake. How about that? Is that okay? Have the ability to fight. Hey, dads, teach your kids how to fight. They should know, yes, how to fist fight. They should know how to stand up for themselves. They should know some moves. They should be able to be punched in the nose and keep on fighting. I'll get to that. That's another talking point. The ability to fight. Honestly, where would this world be? Let me focus it down. Where would the United States be if we didn't have men who knew how to fight? Think about World War II and the greatest generation. Those men called up. Where would we be without the greatest generation? Thousands of which were killed while fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. What would they say, by the way, if they saw this world now? They're like, I died for that. Not worth it. That's what they'd say. I'm doing my small part, so are you, to try to restore the Republic, keep the Republic awesome, because those guys bled on a beach for us. They died in the B-24 for us. They died in Iwo Jima for us. And they had the ability to fight. Were they scared? Sure they were. Were they perfect in their fighting? No. A lot of them got scared. Some ran away. Battle of the Bulge, we had American troops just booking it the opposite direction because the Germans were so aggressive. They started out and then we turned it around. We weren't perfect, but overall, when you plot the lines of World War II, the ability to fight, awesome. The Americans were respected throughout the world, and I still think they are, as great fighters. It's like, we're vicious when it comes to it. If you piss us off, you better watch out. And we have a great industrial base behind us. At least we have had it. Who knows in the future? Something like that. So the world that you and I have inherited, our freedoms, the ability for me to make this video, speak freely, at least for now, were because we had men who were willing to fight and stand up and say, no, I'm going to defend the Constitution. Yeah, I don't care what you think. I want to defend the Constitution. If we lose that, we lose everything. The ability to fight. Got to move on. Another thing. Another quality of a masculine man, and maybe you're this 12-year-old I'm talking to, okay, and your dad sent you this video. You need to have a competitive spirit. You want to be better than that guy. That's a quality of manhood. Now, my 2 sons kind of don't have this, and I tried to instill it in them, and they're just like, no. They're not very competitive. They're really good in these other qualities, but I wish they were more competitive. I think it really is a hallmark of being a man. You want to beat the other guy up. You want to be better than the guy. You want to, when you race, kick his butt in your car. You want to beat him on the motorcycle. Win, 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 win. That is a hallmark for masculinity, and it's a reason, again, this world is so awesome. Because all the men I mentioned, and millions, not millions, but hundreds of thousands of others in the world made the world awesome because they were competitive. They did not accept the status quo. They wanted to do better. They wanted to improve their invention. They wanted to think about a different way of doing things. And that's why all these cool inventions exist, because there was a spirit of competitiveness, sometimes with another company, sometimes with another inventor. Now, you young people may not know this, but you are already competitive, probably in the wrong way, though. You play a lot of video games, right? Be honest. Yes, a lot. I'm talking like a lot. Maybe, 5 hours a day. That's what the average person, says me, spends on the video game console. Yes, maybe they do their homework. Maybe they go outside and walk the dog, and then they get back to the house as fast as possible so they can boot up the damn video console. Get online with their buddies and start, playing Fortnite. Okay, that is competitive. So what you're doing has demonstrated that you have a competitive spirit. That's good. Thumbs up for that. The problem is it's not tangible. You're wasting your time. So you're using all that energy into something that will not improve your well-being or your financial status. Now, is a little bit of that okay? Yes. But it also can be a drug and become addictive. And then it just kind of takes you off on a path of non-productivity that you don't really achieve much in life. And both of my boys have had that problem, to be totally honest. They both had that problem. They love video games, and I have fought it, haven't been successful. And maybe you're listening to this, you're like, my video games are fine. I'll be fine in life. You didn't hear what I said. I'm saying that you're putting all this energy into some fantasy game that won't matter in 2 years. And you could be putting that energy in real life, that competitive spirit, that energy, that work, and actually go and make money and get $10,000 in your pocket because you fly to Alaska and work in a canning factory all summer long or something like that. A lot of today's youth don't want to do it. They don't want to, do any of the things I'm talking about. They're like, no. And so they actually like the messages being sent to them to be a beta male, and they lap it up. They're like, cool, I don't have to put forth any effort. They're telling me I'm the scourge of society. Okay, cool. I'll just play video games and then get my government check. That's a miserable life, if you ask Nutnfancy. A miserable life. You will never achieve a real sense of happiness in your life going that way. But if you think you can, I say rock on. Go for it. Tell me how it works out for you. A competitive spirit, huge for being a real man, says me. Be competitive. Don't apologize for it. Playing sports is part of that. Getting knocked around on the field, huge part of that. Being part of a team, winning, losing, experiencing failure, very important part of being competitive. Because what it does inside a normal man, a masculine man, is it kind of pisses him off. When you get beat on the field, the sports field, let's say it's football, you come into the locker room, you go, oh my gosh, we got our butts kicked. Your coach is telling you about all the things you did wrong. You played bad. But inside, there wells up a fighting spirit. And we're going back to that ability to fight. And you're like, I'm not going to let this happen again to me. And you don't like that feeling of failure, of losing. And when you go to your next game, you're riled up and you perform better. That's the bottom line, is you're performing better. You're achieving higher levels of success because you have a competitive spirit. I wouldn't give you 2 peas in a pot for a dude that doesn't care if he wins or loses. It's a quote from some famous person, something like that. You got to care. Some people don't. Like, well, I don't care. I'll just kind of do what I want. I'll just be the best version of me. Was I competitive? Am I competitive? Yes, very much so, but in the right ways. There's some things that I go, I'm not going to compete in that just because it doesn't matter. But like in my career, like when I was in U.S. Air Force pilot training, heck yeah, I'm competing against other student pilots for an assignment out of the assignment process in the U.S. Air Force. You betcha. At any job you get, you are, whether you know it or not, competing against the other candidates. Maybe it's an awesome job, pays well, good benefits. guess what? You better be the best person you can be on your resume and have it filled out properly so you can be competitive in that hiring process. Be competitive. Don't apologize for being competitive. Just compete, compete, compete. It makes the whole world better, like I've established. On we go with the next one. Number three quality of being a manly man. Did you get that? Manly man is the ability to put up with hardship and pain. Okay? How many dudes have I been around over the years and they like stub a foot, they get like a slight cut on their finger, and oh my gosh, they're taken out of the game. They act like they've just, I'm hurt and I can't put up with this. Beta males. Pussies. Yeah, I said it. And I go, dude, it's not that bad. And then I've been with some buddies of mine that get really hurt. I mean, like when Shane crashed on the motorcycle, he crashed in that deer doing 60 miles an hour, flew off the motorcycle. He got up. He's like, I'm good. Let's go. Like, you want to go look for that deer? I was like, yeah, dude, I can't believe you're alive. It's like, holy crap, how are you alive? He's like, I don't know, I'm good. Manly man. He can take it. That's what you want to be, young person. You want to be the dude that can take pain, brush it off, press on, and get the job done. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't be like a woman and go, I'm hurting, I can't do it, I'm done. And women, I'm sorry, you're like this. You very much, not Mrs. Nutfancy, she's tough. Mrs. Nutfancy, she's awesome. She can take a Vulcan hit and she's like, I'm good. She's brushing herself off. So let's go, man, I'm good. A lot of women are. But I'm saying generally speaking, women make a big deal of being injured or being put out if they don't have the necessities or conveniences of life. They're like, I can't do this. I'm not going to go sleep in a tent. Are you crazy? I'm not doing that. No. Go watch my video, Depussification, posted like eons ago. I talked about this. It's like, your kids, by the way, your girls too. I'm not just saying this about dudes. They should have a certain level of toughness, your girls too. But definitely your boys. They should be able to withstand pain and hardship and being uncomfortable. Because I guarantee you, it's in their future. And if you as their parent does not prepare them for that, what are they going to do? They're just going to sit down on the curb and cry and wait for someone to come rescue them? That's what the beta male does. He can't rescue himself. He just expects the government to come do it for him. I can't do this. Can you help me? I can't do it. No, I'm not going to help you. Other dudes will walk by and say, no, you help yourself. I ain't doing that. Yeah, holy crap. This world is so upside down. Being able to withstand pain. Okay? Have I had to do this in my life? Oh, yeah. You have too, I bet. A lot of the guys watching this like, I was a football injury. I went back in the game. Football guys, especially in the NFL, they're playing with huge injuries all the time. They don't want to be taken out of the game because why? They're competitive. And they realize that's a great job. And they're like, I'm not going to lose my standing on this team. I don't care if I just blew my shoulder out. I want to play the game as best I can. Those are manly men. They are. They're just like, suck it up. Dealing with pain and hardship is, again, a hallmark of being a true man. And it's contrary to, again, what society tells us. Yeah. What we have is a bunch of bullcrap media trying to gaslight us. Next one. Strong. That's right. Men should be strong. Now, this is kind of under attack, right? And I don't know about you, but I can't really watch modern entertainment anymore. Television shows, nope. Bullcrap. Modern, and I'm saying modern being like in 2010 and beyond. But modern Hollywood movies, bullshit. I can't stand them. I'm going to give you some that I really hate. And then like advertisements. Holy crap. Advertisements also model continuously the beta male, where the woman is really the one in charge. The man is an absolute moron. I've seen insurance commercials where the man, I can't figure it out. Can you help me? It's like the woman steps in. Okay, I got this. You're an idiot. And pretty much all the advertisements these days show the man as being a complete moron. Again, that's an agenda. That's propaganda, trying to put women in charge, trying to create a beta male and getting masculinity out of the way so they can do the Great Reset. Says me. If you don't agree with this, sorry. Well, not really. Not sorry at all. It's just truth. It's truth. Yeah, so men should be strong. They are strong. If you are a man, you should keep your body in shape. You should try to reduce your weight if you become fat. And we all struggle with that as we get older in a modern life because there's lots of good stuff to eat, right? Yeah, there is. That Lane Goodwin says this. So funny. So I'm quoting Lane Goodwin. This is in his article. He goes, "Are you fat? It's your responsibility to lose weight. Women complain that men should desire curvy women or rationalize their obesity with bullshit slogans like body positivity. They will even find supporters for their avoidance of responsibility. Men can't do that. Nobody gives a shit about men." End quote, Lane Goodwin. Thank you, Lane. Very excellent. His point about that men aren't really cared about is true. And this goes way back. Because no one feels sorry for a man. They're just like, well, it's your fault. Improve your situation. But for women, if they start crying, they go, oh, poor me, I'm downtrodden, someone please come rescue me, which they do all the time. Someone will often step in to help them, especially if they're cute, if they're hot. A knight in shining armor will always ride up to rescue them from their self-created shitty situation. Yeah, but your ability to stay strong, to maintain your fighting ability, that's your responsibility. You're a man. Have the ability to be strong, to lift heavy things, right? It's funny that in this world, they act like, well, men and women are equal. I'm like, really? How about if you go to an oil derrick where they're lifting heavy things all the time? How many women are doing that level of hard work? Dock workers. I don't know. Maybe there's some. And I have seen some, thick women, really strong. They get a man's work done, but it is a minority. Generally, it's men doing all the heavy lifting. Concrete jobs, construction jobs, pipe fitters, electricians, steel workers, men. Auto workers, men, to a large degree. That's because men have the ability, generally speaking, to lift and to do hard work, to dig ditches, to make great things, to make society work. And it takes a lot of hard work to make society work. Watch Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs. You can find episodes all over the internet. That's what that whole series is about. He's like, hey, I want to show you how hard it is to make our world work. There's a lot of crap out there that dudes have to work with. Yeah, congratulations to those dudes that do that work. Much appreciated. Have the ability to do hard work. I have multiple videos about this. And those two things kind of go hand in hand. Being strong, being able to work hard, kind of go hand in hand with this philosophy video. To be a man, be strong, have the ability to work hard, and put in, if you have to, 10 hours of work per day. Something that Zennials and Millennials rarely can do. My boys included. I'm like, they'll work for 5 hours. They're like, oh, I got to take a break. I'm so tired. I've just never worked this hard. I'm like, well, keep digging a ditch, man. Oh, I don't want to. I can't do it. I'm like, oh my gosh. My generation, I thought my generation was kind of pussified also. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I thought, oh my gosh, I felt like that myself, that I really wasn't a manly man. And I thought I wasn't reaching the standard of my dad. And I thought he looked down at me and goes, you suck. That's what I thought. That he looked at me and go, oh, Nutnfancy, you suck. Your work ethic sucks. But those lessons that my dad taught me, and I do have videos out there called Lessons of My Father, and maybe this is one as well, sunk in. And I improved. And maybe I failed at some jobs, and I said, I need to get better. And I definitely don't want to be poor in life. And I don't want to have someone else take care of me. So I need to learn to work better. And so I did. And so I worked kind of scared. And so that ability to work hard, young person, if you're watching, you should still be watching. You want to go through kind of scared in life. Go, well, no one's going to save me except me. Not mommy, not daddy, not the government. So that means I need to get my butt out of bed. I need to work hard. And maybe that's a hard construction job where my body has to remain strong because you are a masculine man. Again, I can make another video out about any of these talking points moving on. To be a manly man, says Nutnfancy, says the Nutnfancy Project. Not necessarily Karen or Mindy behind the camera. Is you need to be smart, ingenious, and be a problem solver. Those guys I mentioned early on, Henry Ford, Lee Iacocca, General Patton, Ray Kroc, blah, 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 all those guys, awesome. I'm not saying they're perfect. And see, that's where the left comes in. They'll attack the flaws of these individuals, our founding fathers included, all of which, just like you and I, were imperfect. And you could find a flaw. Well, what about this? What about that? And they try to destroy him altogether. Don't do that. Look at the overall contribution to society from that man. Amazing. Henry Ford, the ability to mass produce a vehicle, amazing. Copied over and over again. He figured it out. All those other men, also huge contributions to our modern society. It is why we are so comfortable in life, really. But you should be a problem solver, to have a mechanical ability, to have common sense if you're a manly man. Figure stuff out mechanically. I would look over my dad's shoulder as we're doing projects, and I would be amazed at how he figured stuff out. I was like, whoa, that's cool. And I took notes. And guess what? I'm just like my dad. I can roll into any problem, electrical, mechanical, plumbing problem, car problem. And if I have enough time, because usually I'll make a few mistakes along the way, if I have enough time, I can do that job completely by myself. I don't have to pay a mechanic. I don't have to pay a concrete worker. Yes, I know how to lay concrete. I've done it a lot. I don't have to pay someone who lay my fence. I can do it if I have time. I can do anything if I have time, because I have always sought to improve my mechanical abilities, to look at a problem. How can I fix it? How can I make this better? A lot of what you watch in the Nutnfancy project, isn't it about that? That I'm attacking, here's my word, systems. So this system sucks, or there was never a designated system for this. Maybe it's a concealed carry pistol system. And I say, well, how can I make it better? And I do. And guys watch that, and I tried to instruct the world on just my systems, like improvements in different areas. I just did a series, day hike survival kits. And I cut through the BS, and I go, for a day hike survival kit, DSK, this is what I integrate, and this is why. It's a system. It's a problem, being stranded out in the wilderness without any help, and me not being reliant on some rescuing helicopter. Again, the modern beta male is expecting that. He's like, and guys walk out all the time. They expect they're going to be okay, number one, on a hike, that nothing will go wrong. They'll get no injuries. And that lo and behold, if they do get in a problem, someone else will rescue them. My DSK series is about solving a problem and being self-reliant, which takes us to that talking point, by the way. Moving along. I could talk a lot more on that if I wanted to, but I won't. Self-reliance is a hallmark of being masculine. What does that mean? What's it mean? Well, again, going back to this article, and I love this article. I just read the whole thing. It's so excellent. Lane Goodwin, he goes, self-reliance. A masculine man should always be self-reliant. Women run to other men or authorities to solve problems. But men can't do that. Man, I love that. It's another truth. It's a strategy that works only if you're a woman. Nobody cares about the problems of a man, he writes. Don't wait for the authorities or the politicians to solve your problems. Solve your own problems by yourself, young people. That's mainly who I'm talking to in this series of videos, or that's probably a two-parter. Avoid following leaders. A masculine man is a leader, not a follower. Boy, this guy's on point. Self-reliance is essential for achieving independence. Women can depend on men because they are vulnerable, especially when they are pregnant or have kids to raise. But men don't have an excuse. A man always has to fend for himself. So true. So it's odd that society would send men messages that you need to be a beta male, you need to be subservient to feminism, that maybe you're not a man at all, that you're, I don't know, one of those gray shades between the two sexes. But are they going to come to your rescue if you don't have food, shelter, clothing? Probably not. Probably not. What he says, too, about women running to men to solve their problems, it's true. So being a masculine man means that you don't expect other people to helicopter in once again and save you, that you'll figure it out. You may make some mistakes along the way, and you may suck at the job, but you'll figure it out. That's being masculine. In my book, it's being masculine. So I got this. I fell down. I smashed my face. I busted a tooth out. Relax, dude. I got this. That's what being a man is all about. You press on. You're self-reliant. You take pride in being self-reliant. That you don't have to take a welfare check. You don't have to get an unemployment check from the government. assuming you can work. Some people are jacked up in their bodies. That's different. But you're willing to put the time in and be self-reliant. And when you do that, a magical thing happens to that man's self-confidence about his self-image. Goes through the roof. Because he says, you know what? I'm making it in this world alone. Nobody is propping me up. That makes me feel good inside. I feel like I'm a man. I'm taking care of my family. I'm taking care of my children. Dad's not helping me. The government's not helping me. Welcome to manhood. Wholesome manhood, which this video is all about. Being self-reliant. Women, on the other hand, a lot of them get a free pass. They do. Just like he said. Just like Lane said. They'll run to a man, especially if they're good looking. They're cute. And they go, oh, pay all my bills for me. Send me to school. Daddy, send me to school. Pay all my bills for me. Buy me a car. Oh my gosh, I ran up $7,000 worth of credit card debt. Daddy, can you pay it off? Okay, don't let it happen again. Men are constantly rescuing women. And it's societal. Is it wrong? I don't know. It's just the way it is. But do they rescue men? Hey, Daddy, I just got $7,000 worth of credit card debt. Cool, you pay it off. Figure it out. Go to work. Hey, I don't have a thing to eat. I'm 30 years old. Figure it out. Great point. Being self-reliant is a hallmark of masculinity. Moving along. If you're truly a manly man, which I hope you are, and I think, again, you should increase your masculinity by accelerating these qualities in your personal life, you got to be a risk taker. Think about today's society, the messages again. And the messages tell us, in the aggregate, don't take risks. Life is scary. Life is scary. There's no telling what's going to happen to you in the future. It's best that you let us, the leftists, take care of you. Now, granted, you're going to lose all your freedoms. You won't have a say in anything. In fact, you're not going to have that much money. You're probably going to be really, really, really poor. They don't know that yet, but you will be. But we will be taking care of you. You don't have to work. You can just play your video game, drink your beer, do whatever you want to do. But you won't have to take a risk and risk failure. A lot of our young kids in schools are being taught this, that don't risk anything. Again, this world that we enjoy, the United States, and all the awesome stuff we enjoy, motorcycles, cars, clothing, guns, knives, multi-tools, houses, toys, whatever, they're usually made by men, not women, but men who take risks. They're like, well, there's no telling if this is going to work out or not. I'm just going to try it. Like this battery charger from the 1960s. Someone made this. They're like, oh, dude, let's do rechargeable batteries so I don't have to throw all these batteries away. And I've shown this before. I can't read the date on it, but it's ancient. And look, someone took a risk to produce this. Isn't that awesome? Look at that old school advertisement. It's so cool. Still in package. I bought it, I don't know, at a yard sale or something. And they're like, yeah, you quit throwing your batteries away. Hey, will Americans buy this? They're so used to disposable batteries. It's a risk. Will Americans buy electric cars? It's a risk. Will they buy this, that? Who knows? We're going to put up capital. We're going to produce it. We'll advertise it. Some make it, some don't. But real men are willing to take risks. If you're not willing to take risks, I don't really think you're going to be super successful in life. Looking at my life, I took a lot of risks. I mean, there were so many unknowns. Going through pilot training, other things that I've done in my life. Unknown. Am I going to succeed? Going back to what I said before, I worked scared. I was scared. I'd wake up in the morning and like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I'm going to get this job. I don't know if I'm going to graduate pilot train. I don't know if I'm going to get this assignment. I don't know if I'm going to get that job. But I'm going to work on me. It's on these two shoulders and God. So I'd bend down, on bended knee, I would be praying to my Father in heaven, asking for his help. Saying sorry for how flawed I am as an individual, but saying, hey, I'm doing the absolute best I can. I need you to make up the rest if you can. And young person, I'm telling you now, this is what you need to do. That make God part of your formula of being a masculine, wholesome, successful man. Do the best you can. You'll fall short. You're going to fail in a lot of different areas. Pick yourself back up. Keep going. We'll talk about that. Attack. You'll be successful. If you make God your partner. And if you put in the hours, guaranteed. But be a risk taker. Dream the dream. Hey, I want to do this. And all your friends will probably say, don't do that. I have a video called Live to Impress Yourself. It's entirely about that concept. And people, when I said I was going to be a jet pilot in the Air Force, they're like, right. Why? Because people want you to stay at their level. If they're unsuccessful, guess what? They want you to be unsuccessful. They don't like it if you go cranking down the road and you achieve these high levels of success, because it impugns them. They feel threatened by it. What did I do? I took risks. I was like, you know what? I'm going. I'm leaving, man. I got to do better things in my life. I'm not going to sit here and just, smoke weed forever. I ain't going to do that. I left. Here I am now. A manly man, moving on, also should be responsible and take accountability for his actions. Did you hear that, millennials, zennials? Hallmarks of those generations says me, and I have two of them in my own family, Tactical Doodle and Last Suspect. He's a zennial, TD is a millennial. And they are notoriously like this. They'll make excuses. Well, I didn't do it because of this. Well, you don't understand. It's different than when, you were a kid and back in the 1980s, you have no way of understanding how difficult it is. And I'm like, bullshit. And they don't like it when Dad says that. They don't like it because they don't like to hear truth. Those two generations, in my opinion, and again, I'm generalizing. There's awesome dudes in both of those generations. Many of them are TMPers. Probably you watching this video, by the way. Actually, if you're watching this video voluntarily, you ain't one of these people I'm talking about. There's no way. There's no way you would have stuck to it this long. No way. I'm not talking about you. But they don't want to take responsibility for their bad decisions, for their lack of work ethic, for the lack of being responsible, for their laziness in life. It's someone else's problem. Well, they didn't hire me because, they prefer this type of person. No, it's because you didn't put the hours in. You didn't try. Be responsible. Now, I don't know how the military is now. I do know the military is fully woke. It's really broken, says me. After January 2021, I mean, it was bad when I was getting out, and that was like almost a decade ago. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so bad. The political correctness of the military, I was like, I cannot wait to leave. And they were attacking masculinity even then, and they've attacked. Yes, in the United States military, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force especially, attacking masculinity. And they led the charge. It was saying toxic masculinity. There were posters in the squadron. I was like, this is bullshit, I'm leaving, among other reasons. But the way the military used to be, and I hope in this regard it's still the same, is that they wouldn't take your excuses. So they take a kid off the street, and maybe he brought in those zennial attitudes or millennial attitudes of, it's not my fault, I didn't do it, the gun jammed, whoever made this gun jam. No, you didn't clean it like you were instructed, moron. The military would always get in the face of those recruits and teach them that it's okay to make a mistake, but you damn well better own up to it. That's what the military does. And actually, police schools do that as well. That they're taught, hey, no excuses. You own that you screwed up. Don't put it on that guy, your buddy, or the cosmos. It's your fault. Own up to it. Suck it up. That's part of being a man and improving. You're going to fail in life, sometimes a lot. But if you act like that every time you fail, it's someone else's problem, that it really wasn't your fault, are you really going to improve? Or are you just going to go through that same cycle of failure over and over and over again? Welcome to a lot of zennials, a lot of millennials. And then they have a leftist government swooping in saying, hey, it's not your problem. It's not your fault that you have, $80,000 worth of school debt. Yes, it is your fault. But then they say, oh, no, it's not your fault. We'll pay it off for you. Who do you think they're going to vote for? And here we are. A lot of these young people, they have, a knight in shining armor in the form of a leftist controlling, eventually communist government. They don't see the writing on the wall that they will turn out to be slaves because they don't have that insight. And they go, oh, cool, I'm voting for that person because he makes me feel good about myself, that I'm a failure in life and that it's not my fault and this and that and this and that, and I can blame others and I can keep living my fantasy life. All they ask of me is that I'm a beta male. Subscribed, hit the like button. That's what they do. They don't take responsibility for their lives. There are millions of people like this. And they're not just young people. They're not just zennials or millennials. There are people in my generation that are on the government payrolls. And again, out come the excuses. Well, I would work. I can't work because of this and that. Take responsibility for your life. Take a very hard, truthful look at your life. Look at where you failed and ask yourself, how can I do better? If you don't take accountability, you'll never improve. You'll continue to fail over and over again. And that will lead us to a next talking point. Let me tap the screen, see where we are. Oh, man, this is such feature length. Okay, last point in part 1 of the video. And if I do a part 2, maybe I won't do a part 2. I don't know. You guys may hate this video. I'm having a good time, though. Number, whatever it is, in the art, let's call it the art of being a masculine man is, and I kind of touched on it in the last one, is being willing to self-improve. Okay, that you realize that you did make a mistake, a failure, and you go, how can I do better? Now, Lane writes this. He goes, men are made, women are born. Men have to master things. Women get free rides, writes him. Don't get angry at women for having it easy. Women can't afford to spend years on mastery because their fertility declines rapidly after the age of 25. Men are equipped with the necessary raw material to achieve mastery. Mastery is achieved through consistent hard work. Sounds like Nutnfancy. There's no free lunch for a man. So true. A man who doesn't strive for mastery is bound to remain a man-child. Confidence, he writes, is forged through mastery. Mastery is achieved through self-improvement. Everything he said, dude, on point. On point. Mastery is a hallmark of a real man. Let's take, piloting. I know piloting very well. So I would land from my T-38 and I'd go, that sortie kind of sucked. My Immelman sucked. My approach and landings weren't good. I was kind of all over the place. And I would think as I went to bed that night, how can I do better? And usually, not always, I'd have a really good instructor. One of them was named, what was that guy's name? Jeff. T-38 instructor, and he was awesome. So he flew F-16s in Hahn, Germany. He was my advanced T-38 instructor. Awesome instructor. And he'd tell me everything, honestly, that I screwed up. We'd sit at the table on the debrief after a T-38 flight. Here I am, a student pilot, not earning my wings yet. And he goes, you screwed this up, you screwed that up, and here's why. You screwed up that ILS because your cross-check was wrong. You were concentrating too much on your airspeed. Meanwhile, you were going high on glide slope. Jargon, I'm sorry. Pilots understand what I just said. And I'd go, you're right. Or do I attack it like a millennial? It's not my fault. The instrument was wrong. No, you don't do that in the military I went through. If you start making mistakes, you're like, okay, you're not flying tomorrow. You keep doing that and you're out. They wouldn't put up with any of that. They're like, you just own up, just say, okay, I'll do better. And so I'd lay awake at night thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And what I was trying to do is master that aircraft, the T-38 Talon, a plane my dad named, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, he was a manly man, by the way. Grandpa Nutnfancy, awesome dude. Passed away years ago. And I think, I need to do better. And so I just chair flying. I'm just practicing mentally how I go through each phase of flight. Formation flying, contact flying, low-level flying. And I got better. I would take the great instruction that my instructors would give. They're highly experienced. I listened to them. That's what you need to do, young people. There are people around you that are good at what you want to be good at. Don't have attitude and don't act like you know everything. You just sit down, shut up, and listen to that master. Whether it's your drill sergeant or someone at work that knows the job. You just sit up, shut up, and listen. Okay, listen, learn from this guy. Learn from masters. Soak it in. Be grateful that someone's willing to teach you. So many young people today think they know all the answers. They know everything, and so they end up sucking at their jobs. Some of them even get promoted to high levels, and you probably have people like that at work. I know some of you guys are typing a comment out right now. Yes, I do have people like that at work. They're completely incompetent, yet they're promoted over me. Welcome to the modern world. Usually it's because they subscribe to all those bullshit woke principles, and they're like, oh, he's saying the right thing. Promote him. Yeah, but he doesn't know how to turn a lathe. He sucks. Don't care. By the way, get back to work, dude. Quit being a problem. Oh my gosh. This video is off the hook. Yeah, so mastery is hard to do. It means that you have to take a self-inventory. You're willing to acknowledge mistakes, own up to them like we've been talking about, and more importantly, put the work in to be better. Look at Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady for years, he probably still does this. He would stay after a practice and just do his own thing, just throwing the ball, work. So other teammates will look at it and go, that's one of the best quarterbacks in the world, probably the best. And he's staying after and he's just working. Why is that? A lot of reasons. In fact, he pretty much embodies everything I'm talking about. He has a driven competitive spirit. He wants to be better than everybody else. He's willing to own up to mistakes. Maybe he had a bad game, and he's struggling for self-mastery. He can be better. He wants to be the best quarterback he can. And so he works, and becomes masterful at what he does. Does he have ups and downs? Yes, you will too. I do. Even after you master something, you can still have a bad flight. I never became like the ultimate expert at flying any aircraft. I'm always learning. Sometimes, I remember one time I went on a T-38 flight, and I was like, oh man, it's cool. I was kicking ass out there. I was a solo, so I was not paired up with another aircraft. I'm just tearing it up. I do some like acrobatics out in the area. Look at my fuel. Oh, it's time to return. I'll go back, do some patterns. I'm doing like a full afterburner. It's called a close pattern. In a T-38, I'm just pulling up like full afterburner, like flames shooting out of my pipes. And they got on me for this. I'm like almost going upside down. They're like, don't do that in pilot training. I come down. I do like 3 of those. And it's time to land. I don't have any gas. And I land. I'm taxiing in. I'm feeling pretty confident, right, that I got it down. Shut the engine down. Did my post-flight checklist. I looked down and my straps were not even attached that whole flight. Like I didn't even attach my leg straps or my shoulder straps. And if I would have ejected, I would have been thrown one way and the ejection seat would have gone another way. I would have been dead. Good job, Lieutenant Nutnfancy. Yeah. And no one ever knew that. I never told anybody because it was a solo. But I was like, boy, I got on myself. I was like, oh my gosh, that is stupid. I learned. I went back to the drawing board and I was like, oh, there you go. I got to wrap it up, dudes. It's going to be a part 1. Maybe I do a part 2. Maybe I don't. I'll look at the views on this. If it's like really good and guys are digging it, then I'll do a part 2 on this of what it means to be, can you hear me? A masculine man. The big message is, don't apologize for being masculine. Do not get gaslit. You're awesome and you should be more masculine. We talked about a lot of fun things. The ability to fight, having a competitive spirit, the ability to deal with pain and hardship, hallmarks of being a true man, a wholesome masculine man, the ability to be strong in your body, to lift heavy things, to jump buildings in a single bound, to do hard work, to be a problem solver, to be ingenious, to be, mechanical. Again, any one of these could be a whole video. Be a risk taker. Be responsible, accountable. Strive for self-improvement. Mastery. Dudes, I got more things to talk about. Maybe I talk about them, maybe I don't. Depends on you. But this is a message from the Nutnfancy Project, mostly, like I've been alluding to, young people. So dads, have your kids sit down, force them. Just kidding, don't force them. But ask them to watch this video. And maybe they get something out of it, and I'm probably saying the stuff you tell them. They're just hearing it from a different voice. And I'm telling you, dude, young person, your dad, your mom, maybe she gave you this video, and if she loves you, she would. Maybe it's your mom. Listen to it. This is all truth. If you integrate it in your life, you'll be happier. You'll be self-reliant. You'll be able to have nice things in life, cars, houses, guns, cool, hot female toy dolls, all the above. But it depends on you. Don't expect for someone to roll into your life and save you. It's up to you. And that's part of being a masculine man. Stand strong against the wokeism, the political correctness, and all the other bullshit of today's leftist-driven society. They own all the power structures, Hollywood, the media, corporations, all leftist. Good luck out there. Seriously, good luck. This is Lieutenant Colonel Nutnfancy signing off, maybe with a part 2 later. See ya.